Welcome, Area 2 candidate Sinead Geneva Anderson, Peralta community members, and East Bay voters to the Peralta Citizens 2024 Trustee Forum. We are absolutely thrilled to have you with us today. My name is Lee Khan, and I am the editor-in-chief of the Peralta Citizen, the only student-run publication dedicated to covering the Peralta Community College District. I have here with me today my lovely staff members. We are all students here at Peralta and share a deep love for the district you seek to serve for the next 4 years. Today, we'll be asking you questions to get to know you and your policy objectives. Members of the public today have an opportunity to view the forum, but questions will be limited to those asked by the citizen staff. As a reminder, this forum is being recorded. A link to the recording will be published on our website along with our endorsement in the coming days. We have spent hours preparing for this forum and are adhering to a rigid structure to ensure smooth sailing from here. Members of the Citizen will take turns asking you questions that we have predetermined together as a class last week. You will have 3 minutes to answer each question. The timer will begin as soon as the question asker finishes stating the question. Tamara today will be keeping time and providing you with your 1 minute and 30-second, your 1 minute warning and your 30-second warning. If you take less than 3 minutes to answer the question, we will move on to the next question. Please treat the time limits with respect and end your response promptly once you are told that your time is up. If you continue speaking past the 3-minute mark, the editor-in-chief will cut you off so that we can move on to the next question. To ensure fairness, if we get through all of our questions and we still have some time remaining, we will simply end the forum early. I will be the point person for any clarifying questions that you have about the process or about the questions. You may ask to hear the question again as many times as you need to, but the timer will not be restarted. If you do not understand the question, I am happy to provide definitions of any words contained in the question. However, questions such as, "Why are you asking this?" will not be addressed. We welcome questions about the publication, our reporting process, and our editorial decisions, of course, but in the interest of time today, we will not be answering any questions on these topics. However, feel free to contact me anytime outside of the forum today, and I'll be happy to discuss these questions with you. At this point, if you have any questions about the forum process, I'm happy to answer them now. No questions. No questions. All right. And then as a reminder, the microphone is right above you on the ceiling, so try to speak up and enunciate just to make sure that folks on Zoom will be able to hear you. And all that being said, we are ready to get started and get into the questions. So I'll go ahead and ask the very first question. Tell us about your background. On your ballot designation, you state that you are an educator. Can you tell us a little more about your professional history?
Yes, thank you so much. So I'm from Oakland, born and raised. I have spent my entire life dedicating it to the development of youth, especially marginalized youth. This recent summer, I participated with EOIDC and Markham Elementary School, and I taught 4th grade literacy. This was a part of a program that aims to reach Black and Brown children to make sure that they're proficient in literacy levels given the state of emergency in the state of California, with children not being as proficient as they are in other states. If I have more time, I can elaborate on that. Okay, thank you. My other part of my background is that I'm also a former Peralta student. I have a long length history working in programs, especially student-run programs and organizations. From a student, I have led many associated students of Merritt College initiatives like the March and March. I've also became the Associate Students of Merritt College president. I have a background of being the Black Student Union secretary, vice president, and president, where I ran peer-led programming, teaching, and also tutoring. Fall 2008, I became an embedded tutor at Merritt College. That's where I started my educational journey in teaching, and I taught math. And I would move on to be an embedded tutor for the Maximum Achievement Program at Merritt College, again, as an embedded math tutor.
All right, thank you. Next question, Elliot.
Sinead, Elliot Fain, I'm a staff writer. I have question number 2. In your own words, what are the duties of a trustee at PCCD? And what should voters know about this seat?
That's wonderful. Okay, so first thing that voters should know is that you need to register to vote. The other thing that they need to know is that the trustee seat in Area 2 is one of the most underrepresented areas in Oakland. This is East Oakland. This is where I live. When I did a poll around my area, many people did not know what a trustee is, and they also did not know that Peralta had them. They weren't very clear on that role, and I went around explaining that it is the person who helps with the oversight of the district. It is someone who looks at board policy, board procedure. There's advocacy that's inside of the role. This person does representation. They do outreach. This person also is a part of the strategic planning, in addition to holding various people accountable for their jobs and their duties and their responsibilities. The board also has a unique opportunity to hold meetings. These meetings are public and they're open to the public. I've attended them as a student, protesting for needs. And then I've also attended them as a staff member, supporting faculty and staff for various things that we needed at the time. The trustees' role does not stop at those advocacy and doing board measures and bonds. It also has a lot to do with going out and walking the streets, making sure that we increase enrollment, making sure that people know that it's people like you, students like you, who are getting the job done of writing and memorializing the times.
Thank you. Everyone can flip to the next page. Next question is Ivan.
Good afternoon, Sinead.
Thank you.
My name is Ivan Stavania. I'm a staff writer here. I have the third question. What would be your top 3 priorities as a trustee if elected?
That's wonderful. Okay, so number 1, I would aim to increase enrollment. It sounds very cliche now. I would be preparing our colleges for the hold harmless. And then I also would be doing advocacy and partnerships to increase funding to our colleges so that we can offer more programs and also increase the enrollment. Now, this is kind of 2-part, but it's the 3 goals. I would also be doing this grassroots outside in the community in Area 2, knocking on doors, making sure that people know that Peralta Colleges is offering colleges. It is free. Please enroll right away.
Ready for next question?
Yes.
Okay. Next question will be Desmond.
Hi, Sinead. My name is Desmond Begley, Associate Editor of The Citizen. My question is, the California community colleges are shifting their funding model to be partially based on student success in addition to enrollment. PCCD has faced budget cuts partly based on declining enrollment. What are 2 specific proposals you have for improving enrollment and driving financial growth in PCCD, given these upcoming shifts in funding allocations?
Okay, thank you. That's a great question. Just give me a moment to try to make it concise. The 2 goals or the 2 things I would do to address that, increasing enrollment. I would bring resources to the district, very important. We are in the Bay Area and we're also in an amazing place where Silicon Valley, we have a tech industry that is booming. I would be bringing in resources, also looking at those resources that we're bringing in to create more programming, fund the programming. And in addition to that, I would let people know by increasing enrollment, going out and doing some campaigning for the colleges. Those would be my 2 initiatives. I would like to add in the first one though, looking at our current processes and procedures is really important. So when we're talking about what my job would be as a trustee in my first goal, I would start with the board, looking at how we're going to help the colleges move towards this new funding formula. I would then be making sure that we had processes and procedures to support this. And then if we did not, I would then institute those things by bringing those up and making sure that we follow through on them so that we can be the steward in these new initiatives that are going to impact our enrollment. We are a sister for college district. And for one college, a small college, enrollment should be 10,000 approximately. Our enrollment is less than 5,000 of reaching somewhat of that number to whereas it doesn't seem like we would sustain our colleges. So I would do everything to make sure that enrollment is up in each individual one.
1 minute.
Thank you.
Ready? Yes. Everyone can turn the page. All right, next question will be from Romy.
Hi, Sinead, Romy Bales, staff writer. I'll be reading question 5. What is your understanding of the current state of Peralta's facilities? What will be your goals when considering updates, improvements, and modifications to facilities?
Thank you. Well, since I started school in fall of 2008 as a student, I have seen some improvement with our facilities using various measure bonds. And then as a faculty, as a staff member who supported faculty, I've had the opportunity to sit in these shared governance meetings that go over the specifics as to what we do with this money and how we're supposed to use it to update our facilities. Have all of these things happen? No. What I would do is I would make sure that the district facilities committee and the local college committees are in deep communication. And I would bring this to the board to make sure that we even had a plan, a strategic plan that's a little more extensive than what we have now, so that we're aware of the different types of upgrades that we can have and when we can have them, in addition to securing more funds, making sure that we're up to code. I think that the most important part is using these dollars and these funds, the different types of facilities funds that we have to make sure that our facilities are up to par and our faculty, our staff, and our students have the rights to everything that they need to get the education that they need, which would include me making sure that everyone is in the same room and that we're having these participatory governance meetings. That's having the right people in the room.
Ready?
Yes.
So, hi, my name is Lila Schmeddel-Cremona and I'm managing editor. I have question number 6. So 4 years ago, PCCD made headlines by announcing its new community-based security model and the ratification of the action plan for holistic safety and wellness. What is your understanding of where we are now with Peralta's safety plan and which specific areas need improvement?
Thank you. So Peralta safety plan, now we're past a COVID moment. So I would say before we went into the pandemic, Peralta was doing a good job with making sure that we had the right parameters in regards to safety and listening to students. We did have a wonderful success for some of the students that in policy, whereas we decided that we would not use the sheriffs. We also went into having different consultants, health consultants, safety consultants, and even creating certain committees that brought in the constituents from each college to make sure that everyone's voice was heard in regards to safety. We've had a change in leadership at the district, and we continue to see Peralta make great strides in making sure that the campus is safe. What I would like to see is more input from the students, because the students are the ones that are here at night taking the classes on the weekend. More input from some of the community. The community are the people that are also taking our classes, but they're also in the area, and they're the ones that can make sure that we get the advocacy that we need that's outside of our net group. I would also go to the trustees and to the presidents and the colleges and just look over these these documents and make sure that we are within a standard of what needs to happen based on the constituents groups. And that's going to be our community at large, our students, our staff, and our faculty, and even our prospective students. Thank you.
Everyone can turn the page. All right, next question will be from Sam.
Hello, I am Sam O'Neill, the staff writer for The Citizen. And I have question number 7. In addition to there being very little public information on you, for the last 2 weeks, we've had difficulty reaching you through various forms of communication. If elected, what will your approach be to being accessible to the media and to your constituents?
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for that question. So just to clarify, I did see a publication that went out to the Peralta community at large. So I did respond to the Citizen on Tuesday, letting them know that I would be able to participate. However, communication went out late and I was in contact with Lee. Thus, communication went out on Monday, which is today, that I would be participating. Furthermore, I have established a website. So my website is sineadisperalta.com. So I would give that a good 28 hours, give that till tomorrow and check it out. My website also lets you know my contact information and where you can reach me. The reason why it's been a little bit hard to get in contact with or finding those details is because I started my candidacy late. I'm also a counselor. I'm a facilitator. I'm a group counselor facilitator for children that have been affected by suicide. And so I take on these contracts in the summer, and thus I'm starting my grassroots campaign very late. However, it's very strong. So if you weren't able to get in contact with me, it was because we were assembling the team, getting everyone together. I'm working with high school students. I even have some elementary school students that are on part of my publicity campaign. And so we are getting people mobilized and ready so that we can just have it full circle, because the goal is to say the community is the future. For me teaching elementary school, these children have learned everything about Peralta colleges, these high school students that are going into the colleges, and also former students, and then even some community members. So my goal is to make sure that you always have contact with me, and my email will be sineadisperalta.com.
Next question will be from Maya.
I'm Monica Kabach. I'm a staff writer. We noticed that you didn't file a candidate statement with the Alameda County Registrar of Voters. Why?
Thank you. Candidacy statements are very important, and it makes me really sad that I didn't. That had a lot to do with time, that had a lot to do with funding, that had a lot to do with sponsorship, and that had a lot to do with me being a grassroots campaigner and organizer. I am from the community. I am representing Area 2. I clean my streets. I participate in everything that has to do with Area 2, from restaurants, from economic development, from food scarcity. I mean, I am out there advocating all the time. And so the way that I do this is by oftentimes using my own funding. At the time when I filed, it was really late. And so thus I was not able to file a statement. However, door to door is something that I've become accustomed to, getting my name out there. So I think people will know Sinead Geneva Anderson. And without the Kennedy statement, they'll know that it's me.
So finish the next page.
Hello, my name is Tony. I'm a staff writer. What's a mistake you've made in your professional life? And what would you have done differently?
Thank you. In my professional life, I could talk about, in my professional life, I would say all jobs that I've been in have had particular policies and procedures to govern the way that the work should go. And the reason why this is because it keeps everything in alignment, and it's also great for culture, legal purposes, et cetera. Things that I've done in the past that I possibly would change is that I would use those procedures and those policies to either make my workflow better, to make my job easier, and or to let people know if those things weren't being followed properly. I think that a lot of the times that we have these procedures and policies, people don't know how to use them. And oftentimes things get swept under the rug. That's a really, really big mistake that I have made in the past. And I would tell anyone that to look to your policies and procedures, go to, if you have a union, go to the actual parameters and things that are there to govern and make things smoothly and see to that. And so in the past, those are things possibly that I would have definitely done, because not only does it shed light on a particular flaw or an institutional error, it opens room for change and growth. And it also holds people accountable to certain things, and it gives people an opportunity to address them and change culture. Thank you.
All right, and the next question will be from Gabby.
Hello, I'm Gabby Garcia. I'm staff writer at the Citizen, and I have a question number 2 for you. For your voters at home doing their research on the trustee candidates, one of the top search results on Google, second to the Citizens reporting, is a lawsuit. Other than that, there is very little record about what you have been doing professionally in the past year. Tell us about what you've been up to since your resignation as a staff assistant at Merritt College.
Thank you. That's a wonderful question. So as you know, I can't talk about certain things that are in progress, unfortunately. However, what have I been up to? So I'm a philanthropist. I love working with the community. I'm an educator, as I've mentioned, working with various groups, EOIDC, Markham Elementary teaching. I'm also a notary public. So I'm state of the California bonded notary public. And in addition to doing those things, I'm a housing provider. I own the property in Area 2, and I currently offer low income and or no income rent to particular tenants that occupy my residence. When it comes down to doing advocacy in the neighborhood, it doesn't stop with just community work. I work specifically with senior citizens and children. That has been my plight and my stance, working with these senior citizen groups, and even one that I have started on my own that I will be publishing so that you can know more about. I run a senior concierge service where I provide senior citizens with care in regards to their front lawn, so they don't get blights and that people don't think that anyone is their property is vacant, home checks, and things like that with the community. In addition to that, I run a neighborhood watch in my community. I make sure that the streets are clean, and I participate actively within the churches. In addition to some of those things, my hobbies, which are really important, is that when I'm not advocating for children or older people or trying to get someone to enroll in college, I trap, spay, and neuter cats. And most people do know this about me. It just stands to the idea of me going out and being everything about Area 2. And so Area 2, which is the area that I was born and raised, I'm constantly canvassing, constantly speaking to the neighbors to make sure that they understand that college is available to them the way that it was available to me. Thank you.
Get my papers in order. Thank you so much, Sinead. That is all the questions we have today. You now have 3 minutes to share any final thoughts or closing statements with us today.
Closing statement. Vote. It's very important to vote. It's very important that you go out there and you talk to people in the community and even students to tell them your life story. I'm an anomaly, and an anomaly means that if you know about ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, my number is 9. I have a non-traditional way of going to school, and I started college when I was 17 years old. It was because of a professor that told me that I did not come from slavery. That was not the beginning of my history, that there was something beyond my history that changed my life. I have spent my entire life working with places like the Juvenile Justice Center, registering youth to be in college, working with children. I've even received scholarships from UC Berkeley and have a certificate in research methods. My idea is that the more that you go out and tell people your story, the more people can understand who you are, the more people can look like in this room that can advocate and memorialize history and time, which is exactly what you're doing. And I'm very proud to say that I've had a wonderful relationship with Peralta, and I've had a wonderful relationship with the constituents groups, unions, students, faculty, staff, and I look forward to doing the good work in addition to teaching peer-led parliamentary procedure, you must know that I'm here to add. I am not here to take away. I'm here to take the torch and run with it. I'm not here to drop it. And I'm very familiar with shared governance committees and committees in general. And I look forward to doing the good work for the good purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Sinead. That concludes our forum today. We're so grateful that you were able to come and introduce yourself to the public today. Look out for an email from me in the coming days to let you know when we publish our endorsement. That will be all. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.